Okay, everybody. So we're out here by the little coop that I built. I think I kind of talked about it just a hair in the original video with the chicks. But this is the little coop that the babies are going to move into. Before I get too far into it, though, guys, I want to take a minute to thank you guys for my first little milestone on the channel. A couple days ago, I hit 50 and 51 subscribers. So for those of you who have watched and participated and subscribed to the channel to get me my 50 plus one, a big thank you. I appreciate it. Hopefully I can continue to grow, but that's the support that I need. So I appreciate those who have subscribed, and so yeah, thank you. And we'll keep going from here. So here is my little rooster friends. These guys have found a new home. I have a gentleman coming here just probably in the next few minutes, and they're being rehomed. He's taking them to their new location, and again, like I say, that'll free up the space for those babies to move into. So now this coop here, this is actually two coops, and I kind of just remodeled them and made it my own little thing. Revamped the whole design and combined the two together. Maybe about 10 foot long. So interior here, we did some cool stuff with. We made a little loft area up here. Let me switch views for you guys real quick. Alright, so you can kind of get a look inside. So here's their little loft area. They can come up inside and roost in here in the evening. At nighttime, there's their little entrance to go downstairs. Got a little ramp that goes down to the bottom. And over the other side, there's a couple of windows. We can slide those open or closed. And then on the outside here, these windows are adjustable as well. You can see, you can, you know, in the summertime when it gets warmer, we can adjust those down and get some more airflow through there. And then over here, the latch open, and you can see our feeder. There's our little ladder ramp going up to their upside bedroom area there, sort of. This goes back deep. Hang the water bowl back there from the back. And then their little door to the outside to their little porch area, which is where they're kind of hanging out this morning. They like coming out and hanging here, so that's kind of cool. So yeah, this is quite a bit of space. The babies should find that to fit their needs, I would think. We'll clean it up a little bit here. The roosters here kind of made a little mess out of it, but it's not terrible. So we'll get that squared away and get them guys moved over. Sit tight, guys. And you can see in building my own, all the multiple doors that I've got. Two here, two here, two here. It's making this real easy to clean up and access the birds. Alright, so not perfect, but it's enough. And then we'll put some fresh bedding in there and get set up for the new girls. Alright guys, I'll bring you in closer here. No rocket science or anything here, but cleaned it out. Threw some straw in here. I'm going to use straw because they're little yet, and I've got an abundance of it anyhow, so they can nuzzle down in there if they want to when it's a little chillier out. And here you can see we've gone through. There's a back access door back there. That's how I fill the water up, and then out to their little porch out there. So again, no rocket science or anything, just seems like a good way to go. It worked for the roosters when they were in here. Now that they've found their new home, this is perfect. So we'll move these girls out, and then the rabbit hutch that I showed you guys in the garage, we will move the turkeys. If you didn't see that video, check that out. We got a few artisan gold turkeys. I personally hadn't seen them before and came across them at Rural King. So we'll put those into the rabbit hutch and let them grow. And while they're growing and these guys are getting bigger, the idea is once these chickens here are good to go, big enough in here, they've got room to grow, they've got room to move around and play and do whatever. And then they should, their next step from here will go into the barn with the already adult chickens that we've got in there. So there you have it. We'll go get the girls rounded up and we'll bring them out and see what they think about it. Okay guys, back in the garage here. We're gonna get the birds loaded up. I'm just gonna put them in a cardboard box and transfer them. I'm sure they won't be thrilled about that, but it'll only be for just 30 seconds or so. So start loading them up. Getting a good size. Alright, all loaded up. 10 chicky doodles. Okay. believe they're gonna like their new space. Well, they don't sound too thrilled now, but once they get settled in and used to what's going on, they'll be happy. Already got one checking out upstairs. Most of them there. Oh, there's the one from upstairs. And I guess the couple that went out to the porch are back in. Alright, I'm going to pause you for a minute. I'm going to go get some food and some water set up for them. And we'll be back in just a minute here. There it goes. Got the feeder filled up. Alright, gonna get some water for them now. Alright guys, we'll take a look inside here one last time. Not that you haven't already seen it, but there you go. A little exploration coming up on the ramp there. Got one eating already. They're gonna do just fine in here. I will bring you guys along though and keep you updated on it. And then for the final stage, I'll show you guys when they get big enough to go in with the other girls. Obviously, right now this is why we're doing an intermediate step, because they're far too little to go in with the adults. I don't want them hurt or killed or anything like that, but chances are they'd be picked on. There you go, guys. One more look upstairs here. We'll go back up to the garage and get the other ones, get that one cleaned up a little bit, that rabbit hutch that I showed you guys before, and we'll get the turkeys in there, and a little surprise for you too. Alright, we'll give this a little quick clean. I kind of cleaned it out yesterday a little bit, but we'll scrape off a little bit of this. And the birds still made a decent mess in there in one night. That was the other reason they had to get out of here. So I just use bricks to raise or lower the height of the feeder and drinker, depending on the size of the birds. So right now they're pretty small, so I'm going to take a layer out and adjust it back down so that they can reach the food and the water. I mean, you could always add more bedding, I suppose, if you wanted to. This is, I think, a little bit better, not wasting bedding. Like I say, you can just, you know, add a layer of bricks for it to sit on. All right. Give me 2 shakes here. We'll bring the turkeys out and get them put in there. We'll bring some water out for them. And I'll show you guys the added surprise here. All right, guys, back with the turks. As you can see on the right of the screen here, we had them in just a little purple tote. That works fine for, you know, just a few birds or 6 birds for a little bit. It's not going to last forever, obviously, because they're going to grow pretty quickly. But, you know, you could start with something like that. Just be creative, guys. Like I said with this rabbit hutch, I mean, obviously it's for rabbits, but we changed it and made it our own. And, you know, we've used it as a chicken brooder, and we've used it for turkeys in the past as well. It has served us extremely well. So we'll get the turks, we'll get them put in. There's one of them here. They'll have a little extra room to stretch and move around as well. And if you haven't figured it out by now, you can hear a lot of extra cheeping. We got got a few more baby chicks. We found Mystic Marins. We came across Mystic Marins. So we got a couple of those. We got a couple of Barred Rocks. And we got a couple, gosh, I just went blank. I'll think of it. I'll start transferring them over here. Olive eggers, that's what it is. There's the little Barred Rocks. There's our 2 little olive eggers. And these are the little Marins. So we're just leaving them in with the turkeys. We don't really see any problem with it. We've done this many times. I've heard some people say you should never keep them together. We've been successful many times with it. I've never had any problems mixing them in with each other. They're small enough right now. Even as adults, we've had turkeys and chickens together in the past. No problems, no issues. I'm sure a lot of it comes down to care, maybe. I don't know. But I guess, knock on wood, at this point, we've not had a problem. So we're going to roll with it. These guys are tiny, and we're going to go through the same process with these guys. They'll spend their time in the hutch here until they're big enough. And by the time they've reached a decent size, they can move into the coop that we just added the other girls to. And the process will repeat. And then when they get big enough, we can add them in with the other girls. And we'll have a decent little flock. We're going to get a run built outside. Our other birds are in a lean-to, and they can come right up a ramp and come out of the lean-to out in the yard. In the past, we have free-ranged our birds, which is ideal. It was really fun. I used to like them coming up and getting treats. They would even greet me coming home from work. It was pretty fun until we had some issues with the neighbors. They thought it was cute to feed them. All fun and good until they started pooping on their sidewalk and munching at some of their flowers and whatnot, so that ended. And unfortunately, after they were used to being outside and roaming around and doing their thing, we lost half of them when we put them away in the barn. That's why we're kind of like starting over and rebuilding here as we can find birds, because we lost so many of them. The other half that we did have that did survive, they quit laying, so they end up pretty much being useless. I listed them online for free, and I had a family come with a couple of little girls, and they got the birds as pets. Pretty neat little situation there for them, so that was pretty cool. But anyhow, we're rebuilding. We're going to revamp. We're going to build a chicken run outside so they can still come out and go in the yard and do chicken things, and then but they won't be able to get around and cause any problems with the neighborhood. So all right, guys, listen, we're going to wrap it up for here today. Thanks for coming along. Appreciate you guys hanging in there and watching the videos. Again, thank you to everybody that has subscribed to this point and gotten me over that 50 mark. That's pretty cool. I know it's insignificant compared to a lot of channels out there, but pretty neat in my mind for just kind of winging this and going at it. And so thanks again, everybody. We'll see you on the next video.